Hello and welcome to the Dlsone podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Goodman, or DG Cubes.
I'm Avocado, or hashtag Cuber.
I'm Allison Lee, or the Programming Cuber.
I'm Adam Vetzer, or the Rubik's Cubed.
And we also have our guest today, Damian Bias, or the Cubeologist on YouTube.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming.
So we're going to start off this episode with some questions and all that sort of stuff with Damian. A lot of people left questions on the last video, so we're just going to go through some of the cool ones that we got. If we don't get to your question, sorry about that, but, you can leave more for the next episode. Maybe we'll ask our next guest. So the first question comes from VRT Cubes, and he or she asks, what is your main for all the events you practice?
Wait, DG.
So, yeah.
Also, as always, everything you need to know for the show is in the show notes down in the description below. So if you want to follow along or look at any of the comments or links, they're all there. Yeah. Okay, so continue.
Okay. So, what is your main for all the events you practice? I guess you can answer this one, Damian, if you want.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if this was for you guys or for me specifically.
I mean, we
so.
can...
I think if they don't specify, I'm going to assume it's for you, because that was,
I mean, main is kind of difficult for me, to be honest. I used to always say that this cube or that cube was my main, but really it's whatever puzzle I'm working on to do a review. Basically, is what I use all the time. So if they've sent me a puzzle or something and I'm breaking it in or testing it, if I have a competition, that's what I'm going to use because I've used it for a week. So right now I would say it's the GT.
Even
but
the Mario XD cube?
Might be the XD cube. Yeah. or the Thunderclap. Yeah. But right now I would say the 3x3 I use the most is the GT. But it'll probably be the UXAO or UXAO. Sorry, Ava and Allison. But, it's just whatever I'm using at the time. And then I would say my 2x2 is the Tang Po for the moment, which I'm horrible at 2x2.
awesome.
I would like to give a shameless self-promotion that if you want to know any of my mains right now, you can go to my Cuber profile on thecubicle.us.
Oh,
dang.
Shameless self-promotion.
And,
Fancy.
shameless self-promotion for me, too. If you want to know any of my mains, they're all on my website. So, dgcubes.zz.mu.
Shameless
Check it out,
self-promotion
noobs.
for me. If you want to know any of my mains, you can ask me.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I guess
Okay,
Ava's probably the same as Adam.
But yeah, I really don't practice a lot of events. I mean, I do 4x4 and 5x5, but that's probably 10 solves a week. So,
Same.
and those are just for fun.
not bad, more than Allison.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But I'm actually getting the Chi. Oh Lord, what is the new
Storm?
4x4? The
Storm.
Storm, yeah.
Yeah, the Storm and the Shangxiao Wind.
Win 5x5?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I have the box here. I just haven't opened it yet because
The Shangxiao Win 5x5 is like kind of crunchy and I don't know. It's kind of smooth, but it's okay right now. I haven't really lubed it though.
I'd really like to get my hands on one of those Shangxiao Gigamixes. I really
Oh
want
yeah,
one.
those look really cool.
I want one so badly.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I want a Gigaminx in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shangxiao is I've heard it's really good.
I mean, Adam has a
So-
Terraminx, so.
I do.
Yeah.
I won't have one at 5K. Hint, hint. But
Ooh. Really?
Oh.
yes.
Really?
I need to
Wow.
start making extra Google accounts right now. That sounds
Nice. Okay, so we got pretty off topic,
Okay.
but that's okay.
It's all good.
I expect all that. So the next question comes from Delta Cuber, and this is for all of us. They asked how many months did it take all of you to reach sub 20?
Oh, boy.
So I'll go first, I guess.
Oh no, Adam is
I
there
would
like
say-
no.
I would say I reached sub 20 a little less than 2 years into cubing. Not too bad. So yeah. Adam, you want to go next?
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, it depends on your definition of like when you start, because I started 48 months ago, but that wasn't speed cubing. So I would say speed cubing wise, it's somewhere closer to 36 than 48. So 3 years compared to 4 years. But I would say somewhere probably in the middle between 36, 48 months. Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I'm not much of a speed cuber, so it's more difficult for certain people. It was definitely more difficult for me.
When I started seriously speed cubing, Probably, let's see, like August 2013 to like April 2014 or something like that. After Princeton, it was like a few months after Princeton, I think, that I got sub 20. So like, probably like 6 months, I don't know, something like that.
Nice.
You fast people.
Ava?
Yeah.
And
Like
then
I always
Damien?
start speed cubing like the moment I start cubing because I always like to time myself.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
and then so it's been like a year for sub 20.
And then Damien?
Yeah, mine was under a year, but
Wow.
officially it took probably, a couple months into the second year to get the official sub 20 average. But now I'm stuck between 18 and 16, and I think I'll probably live there forever.
That's what we all think.
DG raised a like interesting question about like how he asked me like if I was
Yeah, can I
you can ask you can
Can
describe
I bring it up? Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, just I thought of this randomly. So if you looked 10 years into the future, and you saw that no matter how hard you tried in cubing, you would still average just a little bit better than you do now, would you keep cubing?
Absolutely. Because,
Yeah,
even though I
that's
don't
what I
know the
said
answer
too.
to that, I'm like 90% sure that that's the case.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like personally being not what's the word? Like, not made for speed cubing, really. Like, that's not my main focus. I feel like I would still do it just because it's not all about the speed cubing for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. It would be pretty tough for me if I knew I couldn't improve. I would have a lot of trouble continuing speed cubing. I think I'd focus more on like other aspects of cubing,
Yeah.
like YouTube.
I would definitely do more
and,
YouTube.
And like just enjoying new puzzles and things like that. Because I love speed cubing, but if I really knew I couldn't get better, that would be really depressing for me. So I would probably just move to a different part of it.
I
a little bit.
think
So-
a lot of the motivation behind practicing is getting faster.
I think that's why you see a lot of the
Okay.
older cubers go into things like, multi-blind or fewest moves. There's a lot of older people into square one and clock. Just whenever you get to where you peaked in a certain event, I think it's fun to move to another one and start
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
So from Plasma Squared, what are some comps you are looking forward to this year, and what comps are you going
That's
to? So this is gonna be released
2016.
February. Okay, this is gonna be released February 1st, so think ahead of February.
There aren't
So
any for me this in January anymore. So
So if this is February 1st, yay, I just got home from Slow and Steady.
oh
lucky duck.
yeah,
I want to go. I
dang.
want to go so
Yeah,
badly.
there's so many Maryland cool cubers over there and stuff.
Not just that. 3
Yeah.
rounds of Squan. Like seriously?
Oh my god.
I know, and I can
That'd be
actually solve a
great.
square one now.
Yay!
I know. I mean, it's super inefficient. I know, like, 4 algs plus parity, but it gets
Yeah,
there.
Same.
you're better than me. I know how to do it with like the same number of algs you do, just no parity. So
Yeah.
I just hope for the best.
Yeah. It's like, oops, I got a pop. Better put it back together.
Do square ones even pop?
Apparently,
Calvins. The Calvins.
apparently
and
this
like
new
any other
chi
Squan other than
loosens up.
chi.
Sorry.
Oh.
No, anything other than the chi will pop. They were awful with pops. So
Huh.
yeah, it was bad.
Alright, so next we actually have a series of questions from Tommy Caprilis.
Tommy K.
I'm pretty sure he's the one who lives in Australia, and he came here for LSC. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's really cool. And then I think a few other people. Oh, Mr. Awesome Cubing also asked this, and also part of Unicuber's set of questions was also this. Cubeologist, can you please switch to the TE Thunderclap?
Oh, Lord. Well, the funny thing is, I actually had the Thunderclap listed as my one-handed main for the longest time.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Because
yeah.
I really liked it, and I still don't mind it. I think it's probably, for the money, it's probably the best 3x3 out there. But, no. I mean,
Well put.
that's the thing. You know, everybody thinks I hate it because I blew it up, but that was just like, I mean, it's YouTube. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not
Wait,
personal.
wait. Just some insider information here. Was that actually Chris's idea for you to blow it up?
No, but I told him I had a
It wasn't?
surprise for him.
Oh, okay.
He
Wow,
messaged
Chris
me one
claimed it was
day
his
and he
idea.
said, "So I've started something and I'm sorry." I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Oh, just watch my next video." And then the whole hashtag thing started. So I said, "Okay,
Oh.
well, thanks for starting it. I'm gonna see if I can end it." And then then I sent him that on New Year's, and I don't know. It's really fun. It's all in good fun.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
I get personal messages like, "Why are you so mean to Sayo? I can't believe you hate the puzzle that much." No, it's not that serious.
So the next question is from JJ Cuber. Who do you think will hold the new world record for 3x3, or do you think that there's a limit to the times that people can get? So I'm gonna take those as two separate questions. So first, who do you think will hold the new world record, like the next world record?
Fazzy.
Oh,
Yeah,
goodness.
I would say Fazzy. Yeah,
For both?
I think it's going to be a
Faz
while.
rules.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a while, but I still say Fazzy.
I don't know
It'll take
because
some time.
if you look on YouTube in general, you don't see anybody coming close to how consistently he gets like 4s. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like when he made that video of how many like sub 7s he can get in a row, and he got like 18 in a row.
That was insane.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That was ridiculous.
My thoughts on this is that I think he gets a ton of 5s, but 4s still need to be lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, 4s for anyone still have to be lucky.
I think he will break his average world record a lot sooner than the single. But, you know, it could easily happen tomorrow, like at his next comp, whenever that is. I'm not saying it couldn't
Yeah, I mean,
happen.
no one
Okay,
expected
he's
Lucas
obviously
to
gonna break
it.
his own record. Like no one else can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one else can touch the 6.5 whatever.
Lucas did
Totally
upload
forget
a
what it
really
is.
good average yesterday, though.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like the second off.
Yeah.
And then also for the limit to the times people can get, I'm gonna start this one off actually, if that's okay. So I always think people think I'm crazy for this, and people are gonna everybody's gonna hate me in the comments already. I can see it. 2-second averages, low 2s, high 1s.
Low 2s, high 1s.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the
2-second
first hate
averages.
comment in
I
the
don't know. I would
comments.
say mid 2s, but I don't know.
I'm
I
thinking
guess
like
where you're
negative
coming
2s, like somewhere around there.
Yeah, maybe
know?
like. Yeah.
No, but I see where he's coming from. I see where he's coming
Yeah.
from. It's
Before all
far-fetched.
the hate, can I elaborate on why I say 2-second averages?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, the way I see it, like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's something Jessica Friedrich said, but I might be wrong about this. Either way, it doesn't really matter who said it, but I agree with it. Optimal is, or the worst case you can get is 20 moves optimal, right?
10 TPS.
And 10 TPS is possible.
Yeah.
People have done it. And, so if you get 10 TPS, 20 moves optimal, if you can see optimal solutions, or even if you can see, like, close to optimal, and get, like, 10 TPS, a little more than 10 TPS, it's possible. It would take a long time. I'm not saying this is going to happen in a year. I'm not saying it'll happen in 10 years. It won't even happen, like, by the time it happens, I will be long dead, as will my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. But, you know, it could happen. Someday it could happen, is all I'm saying. I like to keep my mind open. And
yeah,
they did say
Solves-
limit.
I think.
This is just limit.
Yeah.
Our
Absolute
methods,
limit, I'd say
True.
like 2
True.
seconds.
our methods are far from optimal. So I see where he's
Yes.
coming from. I don't know about 2s. I think that's a bit far-fetched because I don't know if cubing will last that long in general. But
Yeah.
if it does, then yeah, maybe.
I think within like the span of like our lifetime, or when cubing is likely going to last like strong, probably
Yeah.
like high 2s maybe, or low 3s.
No, not that quickly. I have to disagree with
I
that.
don't know. Yeah. Global average. Okay, global average maybe mid 3, high 3. I think.
In how many
global
years?
average. Well, in like maybe not our lifetimes even, but like as long as cubing, like lasts and continues to develop, maybe.
Can I just throw in one more thing though? The reason I always like to say like 2-second averages or something like that, because there is this speed solving thread called something like World Record Predictions for the year 2020. We'll add it into the show notes eventually, and when it was posted in 2009, that thread started, and people were predicting what they think the world records will be in 2020. And they're hilariously off. Like, multi-blind, people were saying, like, 20 maximum. And, like, 3x3, people were saying maybe somebody will break sub 9 average. And it's just insane how wrong they were. So, you know, that's the main... And it's not even 2020 yet. Like, we're still 4 years off. So that's, like, the main reason I like to not say something that seems reachable in the near future, because it will be reached and will surpass it. At least in my opinion. So,
It's a great point.
I just think the progress isn't going to be linear. It's, you know, as you get closer and closer to 0, a tenth of a second is going to be a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
So,
for
as
sure.
far as the limits, you know, you got to think how much people like Felix actually know. Because everybody says they use CFOP. He's not using CFOP anymore. I mean, I know that's like the basis. He still makes a cross, but when he's making
using zeroing.
Yeah, when he's making the cross, he's orienting edges. When he's doing F2L, he's thinking about OLL and WV and all that stuff. He's using like 500 algs. So there would have to be something. Maybe if you could condense an FMC solve into down to like 15 seconds of inspection and then get 10 TPS.
Not
Maybe,
to mention that you have
but-
to like one look the entire solve.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like FMC people don't one look the entire solve.
I honestly think the average
Oh,
somewhere
the hate
between
is so
4.5
real.
and 5.5 seconds is as low as it'll ever
4.5,
be.
5. Interesting.
Wow.
I can see that. I can see
But
that.
the single, I think, will eventually make it down into the 3s.
Yeah.
My
yeah.
my
yeah.
gut feeling is high 3 averages. But I would like to bring up what does that say if DG, let's just say it goes to 2s. What does that say about 2x2? Will become obsolete because
Ben
it just
Whitmore
right.
was like, it's possible for sub 1 average, and then everyone thought he was crazy.
Yeah, well,
and then
I agree
and now
with
people
that,
are
yeah.
actually considering it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's possible for 2x2.
Yeah, I'm just...
Definitely.
When I get all this hate, I'm just gonna talk to Ben about it.
Oh, no hate.
Sorry.
No, I definitely don't think you're wrong and I'm right, or there's no way you could be wrong.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no reason to hate on what you said. It's just,
Yeah.
man, that
Yeah.
blows my mind if that's true.
yeah, oh my god.
It doesn't even seem possible to me either, that's the thing. But, like, you kind of have to believe that impossible things can happen sometimes. So,
Guys, imagine cubing in the news if that were to happen.
Oh my god.
okay. So let's go to the next question. So, Unicuber asked, for Cubeologist, how old are you, and how old were you when you started your channel? And then they also asked about, like, the Thunderclap.
Of course they asked about
But
the
we-
Thunderclap.
Yeah, I said half of his question was the Thunderclap thing already,
Yeah.
so.
All right, so I'm actually 29 years old, basically 80 in the cubing world. And I'm looking right now to see when I started my channel. Started my channel June 10th of 2014. So, like, I don't know, what is that? Like a year and 6 months? Little more. But yeah, I don't know. I've been really fortunate. Met some really nice people. People have helped me out along the way. Just trying to get better. It helps out. And my main isn't the Thunderclap. And like I said, it's, like I said before, it's just whatever puzzle I'm using at the time. Whatever, like this next competition or this competition that I just got home from, I'm going to be using the GT, not because it's my favorite cube of all time, but I'm just comfortable with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite of all time is still the Along V1.
Oh my gosh, the LMV
Yeah,
one.
Along V1 is so good.
Parts.
I don't know if this person was trying to be funny. It's not like a particularly out there comment, but why did you Cubeologists support cube violence? Okay, let me justify this for a second. It was a joke, guys. Like when I came up with the idea, it was a joke. Come on.
It's definitely a joke. Because if it wasn't a joke, if it was serious, I think we would put actual music instead of Adam singing in ours.
Yes, I can second that. Or third
And
that.
I don't know if Shia LaBeouf would have made quite the appearance in a real, like, serious video.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, he got some serious motivation in there.
I mean, he's been unpredictable lately. He might jump in.
Yeah. You never know.
But no,
So then,
I actually made a joke to Chris. I said, every hashtag stop cube violence I get in my comments, I'm going to blow up another puzzle. But I don't have that many fireworks or puzzles that I'm willing to get rid of.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry
I
about
guess
that,
it feels
Damien.
good to
I guess you could put that on
Yeah,
me.
right.
You could put that on me. It
Oh
kinda
no, I
out
got
of
so
hand.
many comments about that. I was like, what is going on with the cube violence thing?
Yeah.
I
I'm what was
literally
going on.
commented myself as one of the people who participated in that PSA commented about destroying that Rubik's brand.
Yeah,
So-
right. Well, no, and I got all kinds of messages as well saying, "Why did you have to blow that up? I would love to have that puzzle." It's like, well, I mean, I understand, but I'm not going to pay to ship it to you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I've already bought it, so I don't know.
Yeah, no. What had happened? What had happened was I had suggested the idea as a joke, and then we kind of like when it first got off and people were still doing these things where they're destroying puzzles. We had put it in the comments as like a joke. Oh, stop cube violence, and like referencing the video or whatever. And then we had made like mentioned a few points. Oh, like you know what? In general, maybe you don't want to destroy like something that maybe another person would like to have. You know, as like a general idea. It wasn't anything supposed to be taken seriously at all. But then it just got way out of hand for some reason. I don't know why it hit home with so many people, but it did. So
Well, yeah, some of the biggest channels on YouTube in general are destroying things. Like Will
What's
It Blend?
inside? Case in point.
What's inside? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what's in? They even that
Or
broke
tech
my heart
racks,
when they
tech
cut
racks.
open. Sorry.
yeah, no,
Oh,
yeah. No,
All I
when
said
you were
was just
talking about-
tech racks.
Just
yeah.
take out the edge, please.
No, yeah.
And they also when they cut open their 100,000 subscriber button,
Aw.
I had
But
a
they
small
put it back
tear.
together, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, after they put it back together, it made sense. But while they were
I
doing
think it was
I
kind of
like,
cool though
no.
because like that's like their symbol of their subscribers, and then they like did what they do on their channel. with
Oh
it,
no!
kind of.
When they
I guess what you did.
reframed it, I thought it looked really cool, and then I understood.
Yeah, it was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yoshimura Roy Lee said or asked, how many states have you been to for competitions? Okay, New Jersey, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Connecticut.
Pennsylvania.
No. Wait,
York.
did I have a Pennsylvania? Oh yeah,
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
you didn't go to Doylestown.
Yeah.
Wait, what was in New York?
Big Apple. Or,
What?
Manhasset.
Oh yeah, Manhasset. Okay.
What about? Have you been to any Maryland
No.
comps? Okay,
Ah.
then that's 6.
Yeah,
right?
6.
Yeah.
I'll go next. Mine was New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New York, and that was it. So
Yeah, I'm the same as Allison.
yeah.
All right, I am
4.
Nevada, Montana, North Carolina, Wyoming, Alaska, and I
And
think that's
Nebraska.
it. No,
and North Dakota.
no, I'm a little bit less. I think Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah, that's the same.
That's the same as us.
No,
Yeah.
no. Oh, that's the same as you guys. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
No, but I'm confused.
You haven't been to Nevada, have you?
I almost no. I almost went to Maryland once. Actually, I almost went to Johns Hopkins, but
Oh, yeah,
Did,
yeah.
wait,
I
did
was-
you go
canceled the
to
morning of.
Did you go to Worlds 2013?
No. I had to cancel that trip the morning of, unfortunately. So would have been
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
if they-
Wait, have you been
I
to?
was so excited to hear the Alaska story.
I
Okay,
have
so
been
wait,
to
Damien, how about
Alaska.
you?
I have been to Alaska. It's a beautiful place. There.
Wait, have any of you guys been
Yeah.
to Massachusetts comps?
No.
No.
Well.
Yeah.
Wait, Damien, what about you?
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna start from the south. I went to Florida, South Carolina. I guess that was nationals, right? Yeah. Then
Yeah.
North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, New Jersey, and I guess provinces count. Ontario.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
So I went to
Oh,
the
that's
Canadian
cool.
Open in
Nice.
Toronto. That was a
Oh,
blast.
Wait, which
Clearly, Dave
which
went
New
to Has
Jersey?
traveled.
In New
Yeah.
Jersey. Yeah.
Nats
Nats.
2014.
Oh, yeah.
2014. That was my first
Ah.
Oh
comp.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was your first competition, right?
Yeah.
So Damien has clearly been to a lot more places than we have. Us
Yeah.
little cooped up East Coasters. Just,
Well,
up in
the
Northeast.
closest competition I've been to is 5 hours away.
Wait,
Uh,
really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
The
So,
closest
like,
competition
20
I've been to is
minutes
20
away.
minutes away. Yeah.
The
Same.
slow and steady competitions are like 7.5 hours for me.
Oh my
Whoa,
god.
Wow. I thought you were closer than that.
Yeah, I should be. That would be
Huh.
lovely.
Wait, how
but
far
no.
was Florida? from
crazy.
us?
14?
Oh my god.
Wow.
But I didn't
that's
have to
quite
pay
a-
anything to
quite a
stay down
travel.
there. I stayed with a friend,
Okay, that's nice.
Okay.
and
Yeah, those are some. Yeah, if you have those perks, then that's pretty good.
yeah.
JJQ again. Do you think Moyu will release a new 3x3 or 2x2, or do you think that they'll focus on other puzzles such as Megaminx, the Yoo-hoo doesn't count, or 8, 9, etc. Maybe a Moyu clock.
No, no,
Or
Okay.
no,
obviously
no, no.
3x3.
A new 3x3 or 2x2? Don't you mean 1,000 new 3x3?
Wait, okay, guys, let's think about this. Okay, we released the podcast on January 1st. How many new 3x3s came out since January 1st?
It's true though. It's
Wait, okay, we're recording this
It's true.
podcast on the 18th, and Moyu has managed between January 1st and the 18th to have released another 2 3x3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually saw a video of a new 2x2 as well.
The Guaguan,
Yeah.
Oh,
2x2.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
the-
yeah, the Guoguan 2x2.
Well, yeah. Well, that's that's Goguan.
It's a
so-
branch off of Moyu.
And let's be
I
honest,
like
the
how you
problem
make
isn't
things.
Moyu. The problem is YJ.
Really?
Yeah,
do you-
because
how do
they're
you
the
figure?
parent company. So YJ owns Moyu, and I guess they don't really own, but they work with like Kong's Design or Song, sorry. And this new company,
Guoguan.
Guoguan, that's under YJ. And then they release YJ puzzles. So YJ, I mean, I'm not going to say it's a problem because I guess supply and demand, the demand
Some
must
people
be
get
there.
stressed by all the cubes, though.
Yeah, tell me
You don't
about
have
it.
to
It's
buy
super
them.
stressful.
Yeah, you don't have to buy all of them. But
It would be nice if they made a clock. Wait, there's somebody here that hates clock, isn't there?
Dun dun
Daniel.
dun.
Daniel?
Yeah, DG. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because you're young and fast. You wait to get old. And there's like this one shining beacon of an event that you can maybe beat the kids at. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm still no good at it, but I want to practice it. I just got a new clock and I
No
haven't set it
cubing,
up.
DG.
I had to
DG.
make
Don't
the
break
clock
the
noise.
rules. No, he's
No
so he's so
cubing.
hypocritical though. He's so hypocritical. You do the event, DG.
I do the event. Yeah.
You're
I'm
probably
competing in
faster than me
February.
at the event and you hate it.
Yeah.
What do you average? What do you average?
Like right now I've been practicing, so like 15.
Oh, I'm not. My PB is a 19.
Yeah, mine in competition is like a 20.
Oh well, I've never competed, but I will be next month.
Who wants to take the next one?
Oh, Ava should take this one
Okay.
because
Crimson Cuber asks, what about a good and free editing software?
so Ava currently uses a good and free.
Oh, yeah.
editing
Okay.
software.
So for Windows, HitFilm 3 Express is a really good option because you can do a lot of cool things like motion tracking and
We'll
keyframing.
put a link in the show notes.
Yeah. And it's free. So on Mac, iMovie is fine.
Yeah, iMovie's pretty
Yeah.
GG.
yeah.
I think people get a little too caught up in that stuff whenever they're getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like iMovie, like for Mac, iMovie is perfectly fine. The only problem is finding one for Windows because Windows Movie Maker is
Oh.
just
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
well, I use Windows Movie Maker for the longest time, and there's still some things that I like better on Windows Movie Maker than I do on Adobe Premiere Elements, believe it or not.
really.
Because it's just so much simpler on Movie
Uh,
Maker.
But
But
Adobe Premiere
the
Elements
only
itself
reason-
is pretty simple as well.
Yeah, no, but it is. But here's the main issue. The main issue is you can totally use it. It's perfectly fine. But the issue is that I've had multiple times where it just plain crashes on me and I lose all my stuff.
Same.
Yep. So if it wasn't
Also,
for
for
that,
me, I
then
had this
use
weird
it for years.
problem.
I would use it for years. I don't know. I wouldn't buy anything else.
Yeah, I had this weird problem with Movie Maker where it would not export in the correct ratio. Like the video would just have these
Oh.
giant black bars, and I had no idea how to get rid of them.
Mhm.
So
It's not like an aesthetics problem. It's like what features you have. It's more of like functionality issue. If that wasn't an issue, then absolutely I would recommend that as like a basic editing software. And I
Yeah.
think I still do, but
Yeah, Premiere Elements is good, but like it's pretty expensive. So
yeah, I mean it's not as expensive as others.
No,
editors,
Premiere
but-
Elements is cheap compared to the rest of
Oh, well, okay,
professional
yeah.
softwares.
the rest of them, but you're still spending money, and if you're new, you don't really need to spend money on
Well,
it.
You
yeah,
don't
it
just
depends
spend,
on
like,
it depends on
yeah.
your reference point. So if you're talking about like editing software wise, it's cheap. But if you're talking about in general,
Yeah.
no, not really for somebody who's probably younger and starting off on YouTube. Like
Mm-hmm.
even for somebody our age, So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, who wants to read the next question?
Okay, I got this.
Ava's
I got
like,
this. Okay.
Okay.
You poor guy. All right.
I would be so happy if I was him.
yeah, like, come on.
Thrilled.
Hey, so my parents signed me up for a competition against my
Wait,
will.
say the name.
Oh,
Say
yeah.
his name.
I love this name actually. Good job on your username. Royally Scubed. I approve. All right. So hey, my parents signed me up for a competition against my will. It usually goes the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a decent cuber on average, but when put under pressure, I tend to mess up, and I honestly feel really under pressure. Any advice for our first competition? Yeah, I'm gonna put
Wait,
it really
Damien,
simply.
you're still here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. You didn't say anything for a
See,
while.
every time someone hasn't been talking, DG always has
Yeah.
to make sure they're still there because he always thinks someone is frozen.
No, I'm good.
Yep. Okay, just making sure. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. So I'm gonna put it really simply, so give other people have a chance to talk about this, but I don't know how to say it. Just don't care. I mean, like, if you're put under pressure and you tend to mess up, then just don't try to do well. It's as simple as that. Focus on
Yeah.
talking to people and meeting new
Yeah.
people. That's it.
Also,
Yeah, that's basically like where I was going. Oh,
general advice just for your
You wanna
first
go?
competition: read the regs.
Yeah.
oh
Oh,
yes, please do.
Don't
Yeah.
read over every single word because pages and pages. Just
Yeah. Just read.
just
Be
skim it.
familiar.
Oh no
Be
no
Before
no.
you
familiar.
get +2s and DNFs, because
No,
otherwise you'll be getting
Yeah,
plus
read all of
16s
those.
or DNFs. On
Didn't
every
Chris
cell.
put out Chris I think put out a competition first
Oh
competition?
yeah. We'll link
that
that.
was
We'll
good.
link
That
that.
was good.
Link that, DG.
And so now the last question we have for Damien is: do you have a sub 10 single?
No, unfortunately, I'm stuck at 1034.
Not
Someone
bad.
needs to edit someone needs to edit like Damien's face and just have tears coming down like
Yeah,
some
right.
Tear.
Okay, so that wraps up our question and answer portion of this podcast. So now we're going to be moving on to a segment we call Who Did What. Now, if you didn't listen to the last podcast, Who Did What is where all but one of us write down an embarrassing or funny story that happened to us one time, and the other person has to guess who did what. So the person guessing in this case is Damien, and we have 4 stories here, and he's going to have to figure out who did what.
Okay, so let's see. There's 4 of you guys, and so you all wrote down something, or just?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's
Each
on
of
the
us,
third
each
page.
of us.
One of them's on the third
Okay.
page. That's why.
I thought you said all but one of us, but I guess you included me in that. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I included you. Yeah.
So, who did what? Let's see here. So, I'm going to guess from the beginning. The first case is an elderly lady somewhat scolded me for swinging a shopping cart around in a ShopRite when I was around 7. See, I need to know where ShopRites are. This would help. She said something along the lines of, no, that's dangerous. All right. Let's see. This one's pretty mild, so I've got to work off personalities here. I don't know.
Wait, Damien, if you want,
should probably
can
read through all of
them, and then
Yeah.
then you can narrow it down like that.
Okay. So you want me to just start
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you don't have to
if
start
want.
over.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Just keep going.
all right. So now the second case is I once claimed that Phil Yu would come dead last in a competition without realizing that he was standing right behind me. Okay. I mean, that would be a bad guess anyway, but all right. Then the third situation says my dad had a drawer full of really cool things. I particularly recall its very distinct musty smell for some reason. One day when I was younger, I decided to excavate it and see what I could find. This is well written. Who wrote this? I managed to find
You'll find out.
I managed to find a slender white object. Upon playing around with it, I discovered it was a pocket knife. It didn't look very sharp at all, so I carefully and lightly poked the tip of the knife. To my surprise, it didn't hurt. So, oh god, this is getting dark. So I pushed on the knife for longer, and it still didn't hurt. Then, fascinated with the knife's ineffectiveness, I slid it against my thumb like the pros do with a real sword on TV. Immediately, blood gushed from a long cut in my thumb. So startled, I rushed to my mom, bawling tears. It didn't hurt at all. I was just embarrassed that I managed to cut myself with a pocket knife. That was like a creepypasta. All right. And then the last one. It says, when I was 5, I went to M&M World and got a variety of M&Ms. This could be me. I was very pleased with my M&M collection. So that night, during a family reunion, I offered my M&Ms to my relatives. I was jumping around in happiness because I was so fond of my new candy, but then I dropped them. I started crying hysterically because my M&Ms were on the floor, but then had the genius idea to wash them in the sink. Oh, goodness.
Okay, so now this is where you need to figure out who did what.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to be so wrong, but I'm just going to go down the row here. So the first one, ShopRite, that sounds like a northern thing. But it might not be. I've just never seen it before, and I've never really been in New England, so maybe that's why.
Well, we all live in the same state.
I know. That doesn't narrow it down.
Same undisclosed state.
Yeah. That's not, yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, you know what?
Yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to
Obviously,
say
Wyoming.
the first one is a guy, but I could definitely be wrong. Guys normally flail around. So let's say the first one's DG. The second one,
We'll continue.
I'm going to say, oh, goodness. I don't know. Second one's probably Allison or the programming cuber, since I always confuse you guys. I don't anymore, but that's always been the joke. So I want you to know who I'm talking about.
No, actually, I'm #Cuber.
Yeah, and then I would say Ava is the dark one there. The knife story. And then Adam with the M&Ms. Did I get anything right?
So you got 2 right and you got 2 wrong. The 2 you got right, the shopping cart one, that was me.
Okay.
It happened. What can I say? The other one you got right was the one with Allison. She said Phil, you would come.
Oh
to
no, Adam, you got yourself.
It was an accident.
Adam did execute himself last
I'm sorry,
episode.
Ava.
No. I like accidentally hurting myself because I'm curious about objects, as you can see from like the last one too.
The last episode, he electrocuted or executed himself.
Oh gosh.
Electrocuted myself in the outlet in this one.
Yeah.
I slipped myself with a knife
It's
by
gonna be- if
accident.
you keep
I'm making that clear. By
No,
accident.
Adam, if you keep killing yourself, it's gonna be obvious which one is you.
Yeah. Stop killing yourself, Adam.
Okay.
But yes,
So,
Ava, I
good job-
appreciate your
good
love
job,
of M&Ms.
Dave.
Wait,
I'm right
thank
there.
you.
Do we want to elaborate on any stories? Because last time we kind of went through and elaborated on some of the stories.
Does anybody have anything to elaborate?
Well, I
on?
mean,
I don't know.
Adam's is pretty elaborated, and
Yeah.
but okay, for mine, all I want to say is okay. I didn't want to like make it too long, but basically what happened was I was in finals at LSC where I was wearing the fedora,
Fedora.
and I was failing my average, right? So then I was like, guys, I was like talking to people in the audience, like Derpy and everyone was standing there, and I was like, so guys, like laugh as I come dead last. And then I thought about it for a second, and my thought process was that I saw Phil Yu do half of his average one-handed. So I was like, no, but then like, I didn't really word it very well, so all I said was, no, but Phil Yu. And then one of the guys behind me heard it, and then I was like, oh, did you hear that? She just called you out.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
embarrassing.
Yep.
Yeah,
But then at Red Cross, he was like, by the way, I didn't come dead last at the competition. I was like, yeah, I saw.
And plus, one-handed, he would probably still make finals at a typical competition.
True.
Well,
But that was in finals, not to make finals.
I mean, didn't he used to
Yeah.
average like 15 one-handed or lower?
yeah, but that wouldn't make finals.
Yeah, it would
that
in
wouldn't
Florida.
that wouldn't like get very far in finals
You
in
need
the
like
Northeast.
you need like 11 or 10 to make finals around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like dead last sometimes during finals, like dead last in finals sometimes can be like 11-second average gets you last in finals, depending.
When I went to a competition in North Carolina in Charlotte, I made last round of 3x3 at the time with a 23-second average.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, like every area is like really good at one thing. Like Midwest is good at clock. Maryland is good at OH. West Coast is good at Squan.
Northeast is good at Pira for some reason. So annoying.
Yeah, you need to
cannot
move,
podium.
DG. You need to move.
I want
Yeah,
to move.
yeah,
I
come
wanna
on.
move somewhere. Okay. So that's the end of who did what. Now we are going to move on to our next segment, cubing in the news. Now, this time it's not exactly in the news. Allison happened to find the Rubik's website, which is extremely easy to locate, but it's linked in the show notes. And there are some very interesting, just all the phrasing on their website is pretty interesting. So we figured we'd read some of the worst parts of their site, their store in particular. So yeah.
for some reason, Rubik's sells a bunch of Meffert's puzzles, and these are like the Meffert's puzzles you would find at like Barnes and Noble. And you know how like Barnes and Noble sells all these overpriced cubes, like just sitting that like V cubes and that kind of thing. So they sell Meffert's puzzles on the Rubik's website, which we just discovered yesterday when we were looking at this. And I don't know who wrote the descriptions for the Meffert's puzzles, but the point is they need a better. I think they like this person, their first language is not English. So let's look at the Meffert's gear
Sheng
cube.
Shao pamphlets. Sheng Shao pamphlets.
Oh.
Oh.
So what are we starting with, Allison?
We're starting with the Meffert's gear cube, so if you guys are following along, just look through. We linked the actual store, so you can just look through and find the Meffert's gear cube. So the description
Since Damien's
says...
the guest, should he read it?
Oh, sure. Do you want to read it, Damien?
So are you just wanting me to read the description, or
Yeah.
Read that entire, like, description.
and then like the how to play? Okay.
Yeah. That's where
already
DG
good.
and I lost it yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, so the description of the Meffert's Gear Cube says, this gear cube is a brand new concept in cube design and has the following inventive steps. Using a full, not capitalized, I might add,
Yeah, that's...
after a period.
Yeah.
Using a full gear mechanism that requires 12 90-degree turns to complete one rotation. The logic, and, period, small a, brilliant design. Okay, so that's interesting. And then how to play. Twist the two halves of the cube in any direction. As the gears spin, the collars on each side will change. A little bit misleading. And then solve by creating 6 solid sides of color. Yeah, that was definitely
That
made
is
with
generally how you solve the Rubik's.
Yeah, that is... Yeah,
made with
that's
Google
quite-
Translate. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seems so. You don't have to turn 12 times 90 degrees
No,
to
you
get a
actually
complete
do on the
rotation.
gear
Oh, I
cube,
know.
you do.
To get it back to its original state, agreed. But
Yeah.
one rotation is defined as 360
Well, yeah.
degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's the
No, it
next
just
one,
breaks the
Allison?
laws
What
of
were
physics.
the
It's just
other good
360 degrees is actually 12 turns on that
Yeah.
cube.
So some of them get slightly repetitive, but I think the Meffert's Gear Ball has a little bit of different stuff to offer in their description. It's similar, but
If it's not good, I can edit it out, so don't worry about it. We'll just do as
Okay.
much as we want.
yeah, just go through each Meffert's puzzle.
All right. Are you wanting me to read this one as well?
Sure.
We can. Well, okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
go for
it
it, go
says
for it.
the gear ball, in quotations, as implying that it's not a gear ball, is the latest
The
edition
Gear
of the
Ball.
Yeah, the Gear Ball is the latest edition of the Gear Puzzle line by Oscar van Deventer, however you pronounce it.
They don't even capitalize Oscar or Van, but
No.
they capitalize Deventer because
Yeah.
the last name
No,
is
Van doesn't
obviously
need
the
to
most
be, though.
important.
Just his last name.
Oh yeah, sorry, but they don't capitalize Oscar.
Again, a again, a remarkable piece of puzzle art in single quotations, which implies they're being super sarcastic. Then a combination of amazing construction and high playing value. How to play. 1. Hold the ball with both hands and twist in opposite directions. See gear ball. That's not written. Gear cube. Number 2. As the gears move, the collars change on each facing as well as the black frame. So I think they're trying to tell you that, the black pieces also have an orientation. And then 3,
Yeah.
it says solving by framing 6 sides, each with a solid color.
So you have to frame the 6 sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well done, Rubik's.
We have to read the Meffert's Cube. I think that's the first one I
Is that a
looked at.
cube?
Yeah, first
That's
of
not a
all,
cube.
it's a dodecahedron. It's not a cube. It's labeled as a Meffert's Cube, but it's actually the dodecahedron's cube, shape mod. So, there's that.
Oh my goodness. All right, the description of the Meffert's cube, strangely enough, it's 12-sided. The 12 colored faces of what? Okay, so sorry. This is throwing me off. The English.
It's all good.
The 12 colored faces cube is a real challenge for puzzlers. A surprising twist within the twisty puzzles. This is a big company. Like, this is basically like a Fortune 500 company. And, oh my God. They could have paid one of you all or me to do this better. Anyway, how to play. Twist the two halves of the puzzle to change the colors on each facing. Period. The puzzle can rotate in any direction. Solve by getting a solid color on each side.
And unfortunately, this is out of stock, so I know you guys really wanted your Meffer's Cube, but you can't buy
For
it.
$20.
Yeah, I mean, you really wanted to waste those spend those $20 on your Meffer's Cube, but
Oh my god.
Okay, let's continue. Meffert's gear shift.
So now we're looking at the gear shift, I guess. I've actually never played with one of these, but they look really cool.
yeah, they're
But
Pretty
fun.
cool.
it
But they're
says
really easy.
the description. This puzzle is deceptively difficult as while the simple rotation of the 8 meshing gears simply serves this is like a tongue twister as a mesmerizing display. The moment one discovers that the core can be pulled apart, the difficulty skyrockets. What was once an inevitability now truly becomes a challenge of logic. Exclamation mark. How to play. The puzzle pulls apart in 3 directions by pulling on the 2 halves. Be sure you hear 2 clicks. Spin the gears to change the colors on each side, then push back together. Solve by getting the puzzle into a square shape and creating a solid color on all 6 sides. Shift gears to
Pretty
get
sure
your
it's a
head
cube.
around this shapely puzzle.
Shapely puzzle.
Yeah,
Shapely puzzle.
the shape is a
Okay.
cube. It's not very...
And the last is the Meffert's Venus pillow.
Oh, let's see.
Venus.
Wait, I don't
The best
understand
speed
this
cube
puzzle.
out there. It's the
I'm
best
pretty
speed
sure
cube
it's
out
just
there.
a 3x3 actually.
Is it just a 3x3?
Yeah, it's just a
that's what I thought.
3x3 where the corners overhang whenever you turn it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a glorified 3x3.
Venus Pillow is a mind-bending classic. It keeps generations intrigued.
Yeah.
With an amazing silhouette and super smooth movement, Venus Pillow generates never-ending excitement. How to play.
Oh boy.
Hold the puzzle with both hands and twist in opposite directions. That is not necessary. Like, you know how on a gear cube, like when you turn one side, it kind of turns the other side? You can just turn one hand on this one. As you twist, the colors on multiple sides will change. Solve by creating a solid color on all 6 sides. Good
Man, they're
work.
really driving home the point that you need to create that solid color on all 6 sides.
Yeah.
The most intuitive, like, solved state of anything in the world is a Rubik's Cube.
I
But
know.
yet they explain it on
No,
every page.
Rubik's Cubes actually solve into the super flip pattern. I don't know if
Yeah.
you noticed. That's the real solve state.
No, they solve into Cubeologist's logo. It's like
No,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I'm
well,
looking
you're
for.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be so
Um,
cool. I've thought about that so much, trying to get, not just like a puzzle shaped that way.
Oh, I'm
That
on
would-
it. I'm on it.
That would be so cool. I just don't even know if it would be possible. Obviously,
I can do
It
a
would
sticker
be-
mod of that.
Maybe like a twisted version of that 2x2x16 that Oscar made or whatever it was.
Oh.
Okay, so now do you want to do the Rubik's replacement stickers? Just to see.
3x3 replacement stickers for $4.99 before shipping. So the description of the stickers I do grammar. Stickers on your Rubik's Cube looking a little bit worse for wear. Let's see. Had you Rubik's Cube since the 80s? And the stickers have seen better days, replace them. It's cheaper than buying a new cube, unless you're
Really?
buying a Guanlong. These stickers are the same colors as the 3x3 Rubik's Cube you can buy in shops, so your cube really will look as good as new. Comes with 3 sets of printed PET plastic stickers, bright colors, life of 750,000 rubs. Don't do that. In the original Rubik's Cube colors for the Rubik's Classic 3x3 cube.
Again, I can just imagine a guy sitting there. It's like, here, determine the life of these stickers.
Yeah.
And it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, God.
No, he probably just pulled out like a saw blade to try to get his job done quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's horrible.
I think maybe it's because like the Rubik stickers. You know how like sometimes once you've used it, they start like fading a lot, like just the Rubik's brand stickers. I don't know if they changed them,
Yeah.
but I remember the old school Rubik's brands would do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you rub it 1,000,000 times.
750,000 times.
Oh my god.
Just keep
Oh, that's
rubbing.
great.
That's unfortunate wording.
Just
So,
keep rubbing.
Okay, so that's the end of our cubing in the news segment. For the next episode, if you find any articles that are really funny, please leave them in the comments of this episode because we're having trouble finding some. So if you happen to know one or you see one around, just comment it and we'll try to get to it. So yeah, that would be really awesome.
And also leave more suggestions for topics because we yelled at you for this last time and you still didn't do that much. Like you sent in a few and we are considering those for later episodes, but send in more.
Okay, so this podcast is almost over, but we do have one really important announcement left, and that is who our next guest is going to be. So our next guest is, drumroll, Daniel Karnock, or Derpy Cuber on YouTube. So if you have any questions for him, which you should, leave them down in the comments of this podcast, and we will ask him those in the next one. And once again, if you have any for us, leave them there as well, because we like to answer things. So, yeah, that's our next guest and stuff, and I'm bad at wrapping things up.
Well, I just want to
It's
say
okay, DG.
I'm really excited about what you guys are doing with the podcast, and I enjoy listening to it. There's something about podcasts that make it easy to practice. So I'll just turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
Totally.
because I've picked up a cube and set it down probably 4 times since we've been doing this, just because it's kind of subconscious. But I've been forcing myself not to do it.
Yeah.
But it's so refreshing to turn on a cubing podcast. Like whenever they used to do CubeCast, I don't know, that kind of just went away. But that was
the
cool.
The
But
Cubecast,
now,
they just don't upload very often,
well, I think,
still
which is
I
one
think
of the
you
things
guys are
we're
gonna
trying
be-
to avoid.
yeah, I think you guys are going to be pretty successful with this, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much
Thanks.
for the
Yeah, we
compliment.
appreciate having
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
So in case you guys didn't know, another big announcement, we also have a website now. It is dlsonepodcast.esy.es. It's in the description of all of our videos. We might be getting a .com someday. I don't know. But currently that's what it is. So you can do a lot of stuff there. You can download the podcast to listen to it whenever you want. Yeah, so that's always good.
And just to reiterate, if you want to look at any of the links we mentioned in this show, they're all in the show notes. So also go check those out. They should be right underneath the website link in the description.
So I've tried to do our outro a solid 5 times, and I can't do it, so I'm going to leave it to Adam.
All right, thank you again for Damien for coming on this podcast. We really appreciate him being on. So if you have any suggestions or comments, you can leave them down below in the comment section, and we'll check them out and we'll take your suggestions. Thank you very much for watching.
Like I said before, I really appreciate you guys having me on and letting me ramble for a little while. But as always, guys, I know this isn't my show, but I have to say it. You will hear from us really soon, even though us will not include me. But thanks for watching.
Okay, bye.